Okay, so medicalization is the topic for today. We're going to go over, kind of the pros and cons of it. I'm really not going to talk about whether it's a good thing, whether it's a bad thing. I'm not going to get into that, but I'm going to use some current social examples that we have that kind of help us put this in context. But really, this is just a study from the MCAT to be able to understand what they're talking about when they bring up the word medicalization. Okay, so this morning I was listening to a psych-soc passage, and in the passage they brought up the term of medicalization as it applies to sociology. And so when I was looking into this, I really didn't know what it meant. I kind of had an idea based on the passage, but I dug into it a little bit more. And so basically what you're doing with medicalization is you're taking a disease process or kind of like a social ailment and you're profiting from it. So pharmaceutical companies are a big proponent of this. They are the ones that mainly profit from this type of shift, this type of change, and maybe even drive it somewhat. So the idea of kind of creating a disease, creating an illness, a lot of times forms around these new medications that come out. Gastrointestinal issues, sleep issues, cleptomania, grief, alcohol, and drug addiction. These things have all been classified as medical conditions now, where you almost need programs or medications in order to get through these, where in the past maybe more of a psychological or social mode would be used to get over these issues. One thing I want to talk about in a little bit more depth is concentration and attention. So I was reading a cards passage not too long ago, and what it talked about was the effect that cell phones and social media have on our concentration. And what it was talking about is our interruptions. So because we're interrupted constantly by notifications and by our cell phones, by our news feeds, by all these different things all day long, that our concentration is constantly being broken and we're no longer able to concentrate as much. Even if we were to take away the interruption for an hour, our concentration ability is reduced. So we have ADHD, ADD that is so often treated with medicine. Now, this might be just how the times are now and how things kind of go. So I'm not going to say, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. But this is what medicalization is. It's this shift, this idea that you're moving from kind of a sociological, psychological fix for some of these things to be able to either mentally push through it or change your lifestyle or kind of change the baseline addiction to things if that's the problem, to shifting more towards somewhere you can profit from, such as delivering medicine and having health appointments and things. One thing I want to talk about really quick is the medicalization. So medicalization is just kind of the idea of our internet-based society where we are self-diagnosing. We're kind of doing our Google search for the doctor, kind of determining for ourselves what we need, kind of cutting out the middleman, cutting out the doctor. One of these issues is there could be an increase or a rise in the types of minor illnesses that are treated with medicine. We could be spending more of our resources, more of our available resources on treating minor illnesses and minor diseases based on the demand of people self-diagnosing and medicating for things that maybe didn't need medication before.